All right, so I'm here. We're guys, Brad, Closet, Cards, and Logan. How do you say your last name, Logan? Sabatini.
Sabatini, yep.
Just wanted to get a chance to talk to you guys just about kind of how you guys run your ships. So yeah, I guess to start off, let's talk a little bit about your strategies that you guys go. I know both of you do consignment. Can you just talk to me? Scott and I, we don't. We buy, replenish, sell, kind of that cycle, and that can be tough at times. But I'm interested to hear from your guys' perspective, kind of how you guys run your consignment business and kind of the benefits of it and some of the disadvantages as well.
Oh man, basically I model everything I do after Logan's League. Um,
Give me
no, it's pretty simple, honestly. Like DMs are always open. DM, show me what you have picture-wise as far as cards, and I tell you if it's something I think I can move or not, and we go over rates from there. And everybody pays to ship to me. Whatever doesn't sell ships back. Biggest advantage is honestly just always having great inventory if you got great consigners. Guys that are ripping a bunch of wax or doing breaks or personal flips, like constantly have inventory rolling in. And then basically I use Terapeak, I know Logan uses Card Ladder. Little common sense when comping and pricing. Like I price everything to comps. If there's two bad comps on a card, honestly, then 9 times out of 10, I'm not going to use those two bad comps every time. But it gets taken into consideration when comping, and then go from there.
I agree with everything Brad said, and I think I'll go more into like the disadvantages of it. It's like when you sell your own cards, you price them however you want, where
Sure.
like you can literally be 50% off comps because you got it for 10% of comps. But a big thing is trying to balance selling for people and still giving the people that you're selling to a good price. And that's where it can take in more time. And I think that when Brad was talking about rates, is like you kind of pay for, I feel like when you have your certain rates, you're paying, people pay you what they're getting. So like with Brad and I mean, I'm going to go out there and say this. I think Brad and I are some of the best sellers on Twitter.
100%. Yeah.
I think we've shown that, not saying we're the best, not saying anybody's less than us, but I think what our product that we put out there, we've done very well with, and that sometimes maybe somebody else has a lower rate than us, but also they may not be able to move it as fast. They might not be able to set the certain price that they want to. But again, I think with kind of circling back to disadvantages, it's really, that's the biggest thing is like, okay, how do I make the person I'm selling for happy, and how do I also make my customer base happy as well? It's trying to find that happy medium of, okay, like how can I find that perfect price? And sometimes that doesn't work, and sometimes we may be over comps because somebody doesn't want to sell for that, and it's like, well, you've given me this deal before, can you do this for me? And I'm like, well, if it were my card, then yes, of course, but I still have a certain price point that I have to sell for the person I'm selling for.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about it at National in Chicago, because honestly, Scott and I have never really considered doing it, as we just kind of like the model we have now. But when we talked about it, it finally clicked for me that like, yeah, that's it. So if people are sending you stuff and you move it, like you take your fee, but that's yours. There's no like stress of like, okay, I got to like restock my inventory, which is what we go through on a monthly basis. It generally works out, but there is that added stress there for sure. Let's talk about kind of the range. Logan, you do mostly singles. You do like a lot-based system, it feels like sometimes too. You'll just lot out some cards. Brad, you are kind of similar to us, where we do like a mix of lower end stuff to high end stuff. Just kind of talk to me about like where your philosophy lies in that, like why you like to start low, go high, mid end, all that kind of stuff. And then Logan, you can talk about how your philosophy works.
I mean, it's slowly kind of shifting over here, which is cool to see. Yeah, at the beginning of the year when I went full time in January, like I was known more at the $1 to $10 range, and now it's starting to get more into, I'd say consistently more $3 to $20. The occasional, for me, a $40 banger. But it's been cool. I've gotten my rates without saying my rates. I usually don't unless somebody wants to inquire about them. my rates are tiered, so like a certain price level from $1 to $3 is giving me so much, 5 to 25 is giving me so much. So it kind of fits in with what my consigners are also sending me. So if you're getting a lot of $5 to $100 cards to me, you're going to make a lot more money off of it because I am taking a lower cut on those unless you're compared to you sending me $1 to $3 stuff, I'm taking a larger cut out of it. Because at the end, if you're getting a bunch of $1 to $3 stuff, it's a volume game at that point. It takes a lot more time to prep. It takes a lot more time to comp, because I still comp $1 to $3 stuff. I don't want to miss a comp on an X-Fractor of a rookie that I've never heard about, and all of a sudden that's a $7 card instead of a $2 card like I thought, because that screws over my consignor. I don't want to do that. So I still comp every single card. It takes me like 5-6 hours a day to prep a sale. And that's one of those things when you consign with like me or Logan, like me and Logan talk every day. Like we're best friends. It's disgusting, honestly. But it's one of those things, like he'll send me a picture of a card, be like, check out the comps on this, and I'll go through it. I'm like, that's weird. It makes no sense. But then we help each other here and there to come up with what we think that card should be priced at to move. Sure. And to be fair to the consigner and to the buyer. And 9 times out of 10, it sells, and it's a good feeling. So it's one of those things. Is another part of the reason why you pay a consigner, is that extra work in there to try to maximize your money, because I'm in the business of making money in the card world and getting cool cards to people. My consigner is consigning with me to make money, so I'm going to do whatever it takes to make you that money.
I guess you're right. Like, it does depend on what your consigning base sends you to sell, but also, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys can push for like, I want this type of range. Like, this is the stuff.
For sure.
Selling. This is what my base likes.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and I've kind of grown more into like, I want $10 and up for the way I do my sales. It's just for with the amount of consigners I have, the amount of stuff I'm selling, I'm trying to balance. As Brad said, it like really is. I mean, it's our dream jobs as of now. I mean, dreams always change, so I want to make that abundantly clear. Yep. But as of now, I love doing this, but it ends up being like an 8-hour work day. So like, I mean, that's why I do lots with some stuff. Like I'll do a color lot of cards, because I can go through and I could be like, okay, like all these Topps Chrome colors are none of like the huge names that are $10 and up, like that. So then I'll just be like, okay, it's like, really, is this like a $3 card? Sure, I'll put it into a lot for $2, because like I have explained to some of my consigners before, it's like, if I can sell all those into a lot, and maybe we get like $5 to $10 less on something, but then I'm able to put time into the stuff that's $50, $100, $200. Like that's where they make the most money anyway. So then everybody's happy overall, and I'm not spending as much time. I'm spending as much time going through being like, okay, this is a $2 card, this is a $3 card, this is a $4 card. We're just gonna put these 20 cards for $55.
And that's a conversation you have to have with
for
your
sure
designers, to be honest.
Every time.
And if anybody had like, I'll always send over like if they want comps before. And some people I consign for like, do what you want, sell the cards how you would sell the cards. And because I want my money, I want the money as much money as possible and as fast as possible. So it's also trying to find that balance too, because I could individually sell every single card, and I wouldn't have a life outside of cards. I wouldn't have a girlfriend or anything. I wouldn't have any friends, because that's all I would be doing. So it's trying to find that balance of making the most money for my consigners, making the most money for myself, but also putting out a quality product, and being able to interact with people on Twitter during the sales and different things like that.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That's actually a great transition to the next topic. You guys are both full-time cards. Definitely something that I've considered. I don't know that it would be anytime in the near future, but it's definitely, like you guys said, a cool dream to have. But it is your guys' full-time job. Mm-hmm. So talk to me. I know everybody knows you guys sell cards. What do you guys do when you're not selling cards? Because like you just said, Logan, you got to have like some give and take, some breaks away from it. Because like I know, Brad, you took a week off, and it's a lot. We do it once a week, a month, and by the end of that week, we're toasted. Like it's game over. So just talk to me a little about what you guys like to do beyond cards.
I mean, yeah, it's it's exhausting when you're doing it like 3 weeks a month. It's one of those things that you have to learn how to balance. And that's part of the reason why I took a break for a week and told everybody like, hey, taking a break, just little mental reset. Probably the number one thing that I do outside of cards is like I just try to be as active as possible. I go to the gym every day. And me and my wife love to hike. We love to explore. So we try to get out and do that kind of stuff on the weekends. Big brewery people, or those middle-aged people that go to the breweries on a Saturday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
I have a lot of those here in Colorado.
I know. I need to get out there.
Is it, man?
I need to get out to Seattle too to see Logan and hit some breweries out there. But yeah, we're those people that end up eating dinner at 3 o'clock on a Saturday, and then we're on the couch the rest of the evening watching Netflix and Hulu and chilling. So my wife works a really demanding job as well. So we take our relaxation extremely seriously.
I would say like when I'm outside of cards, I would say I'm either like, going out with some friends, or like, going to the Mariners game or going to a UW football game, or like usually most nights now I'm just, once I'm done selling, if I'm not hanging out with my girlfriend, I'm playing Fortnite with my friends. Like that's kind of what
Terrible.
that's kind of what it's turned into at night, because it's just a way to like, I mean, I live with four roommates, but some of my other friends, like, it just that I don't get to see as much. It's a way for us to hang out. And like, that's a big thing for me, is just like, just not being like taking time away from cards, because it's such a, like, I've done it before where I've gone 24/7, and it's really like affected like my mindset with things, because I get into like this caught up in cards, and I don't realize anything else that's going on, and it's just horrible for me. So I really tried to take time where it's like, okay, like I'm not doing cards right now. I'm just gonna hang out and like be in the moment of my own life, and not trying to run my business.
I mean, you guys all know there's so much work that goes into posting it, like figuring out what each card costs, the shipping. Like there's just hours, like you said, Logan, so like easily an 8-hour day. Like when we do our week, we're putting in like 100 man hours, like easy.
Sure. And just to preface this, like I absolutely love and enjoy doing it. And it's not like by us saying this, I think I can talk for all of us here that we enjoy it so much, especially for Brad and I being full time. But there is hard work, and it's not to say like that what a normal job isn't hard work either. It's just kind of different kinds of hard work, and we're doing this by ourselves. And I think it goes into like that sometimes, like, again, speaking for Brad and I, that it like is like holy crap, like we're doing this like all by ourselves. And it's like when you have 150 stackers, you're like, okay, like how can I make sure that I'm not stretching myself too thin, but also I am giving everybody the same amount of, I'll say, just attention. Like how can we be the most fair to like our customer base, and making sure that they come away with, okay, I'm going to buy back into the sale. I feel like I didn't get pushed to the side, because sometimes that's hard, because when you're at the end of a sale, you're like, I just want to be done. Like, I don't want to talk to anybody right now. But it's like, okay, you have to be on 100% of the time. I think that's the biggest thing, is finding a good system that works for you. And it's like different for everybody. And Brad's got these messages before, I have too. People ask like, how do you go full time, or how do you start this as a business? And I just don't think there's any answer to, like, there's no answer that I could tell anyone that is the correct answer, because it's all different. I think for Brad and I, it was both that we hated the jobs that we were at, and we had been selling cards. We had been selling cards on the side, and we're like, well, we're just going to give this a shot. If it doesn't work out, we'll go and find another job, but this will at least give us some time to figure out what we want to do. And I think that's my one answer, is you have to have done some sort of selling, some sort of moving cards, because if you just try to be like, oh, I'm just going to do, I've only collected cards, I'm going to start selling cards, and I'm going to quit my job, it's not going to work.
Yeah, you got to have the established platform before you even really do the jump, to be honest with you. Like I started in 2021. and I was doing stack sales to a point until probably last August is when I started realizing that I could probably do this full time if I wanted to. And I was working a job out here in Central PA that you'd never leave it once you're into that company because of that company. And my mental health tanked, my anxiety tanked, and I was like, you know what? Like, I really enjoy selling cards. I know I can do this. I consider myself extremely lucky at how things took off. I do. Like, I had a if this fails in 3 months plan. I had a if this fails in 6 months plan. I still have a if this fails in a year or two plan of what I would do next, and it very well still could. But for now, like, things are growing. They're growing steadily, and it's part of what Logan said. You don't want to stretch yourself too thin, and that's the key. Like, you can still have growth and still excel at what you're doing. And if it's not broke, don't fix it. Just keep chugging away at it.
All right. So I don't have the upgraded Zoom, so we have 10 minutes left.
I saw that in the top left.
10 minutes left. So we'll end with some quick stuff here. Real quick. I know you guys, Brad, you're married. Logan, you have a girlfriend. What do they think? Quickly, what do they think of your guys'?
My wife loves what I do, I think. She wishes I found more balance with it, and that's something I'm working on. Taking a step back here and there on days that I'm not selling and actually being off my phone, not looking for deals, not answering DMs. So that's something I'm still working on. But she's proud of me. She's proud of what I do. It's really cool. So
my wife hasn't figured out the phone thing yet. I swear. Deals aren't going to do themselves.
I would say I'm the exact what Brad said, the exact same way. She fully supports everything that I do. She absolutely loves it. But again, it's trying to find that balance, and it's hard. It's hard because it's like we run the business ourselves. So it's like, if I'm not doing it, nobody else is doing it. But also it's like, sometimes I have to remember cards will be there in an hour or the next 2 days or the next 3 days. And it's really, I mean, it's really for me, I had a wake up call about 7-8 months ago. Not gonna get into it or anything, but like that, I do this because I want the freedom to be able to do whatever I want to do. And it's like, I've really started to find, like, if I want to go to a Mariners game, I'm not going to sell that day and I'm going to the Mariners game. Like that, or if I want to not sell on the weekend or not sell this day and something comes up that's really fun or like something I really want to do, I'm going to go, I'll figure it out. And I'm going to go and do that. So it's like, by going to full time, it's allowed me not to miss out on things in life that I want to do.
All right, Logan, real quick, tell me about the famous mat. How did that come about?
It is funny that we bring up my girlfriend. Her name's Allie. So Allie and I were, I think this was before I'll make this as short as possible, but we were laying in bed one night and I was like, I hate the way the brown desk looks with the cards. I was like, I don't like this. It doesn't look good. So I was like, I'm just gonna look for like some sort of mat, and I ordered this, and she's like, "Are you like a 12-year-old? Like, what?" She's like, "This is a mat for a 12-year-old," and I was like, "Just you wait." And then that's like, it was like,
you the first. I feel like there's a lot of them, but I feel like you were the first.
They're all copycats.
I don't want to say that because I never saw anybody else on Twitter with it. So I will say, without doing any research, without doing anything, that I was the first person on Twitter with it. And it's just kind of like stuck that I think it was because someone told me always, like, you know, you want to always make yourself like look different or like stand out in a good way because everybody's selling cards. So I constantly, like, that's why I try to keep my picture quality really good. That's why I try to, you know, do different things with my sales. And with the Galaxy mat, it just kind of like, I got it and people liked it and I kept it. So
there's a lot that goes into it. It's actually like really important, like your setup.
It is.
Like
it is.
Like, I have this window for natural light, and it like really depends on the time of day. So I bought an overhead light because it, like I said, really limited when I could take pictures. We get dark here at 5 o'clock now, so like it really limits the time. Last thing, we got 2.5 minutes. One card related goal for 2023.
I'd like to somehow get to that 250 stacks in a sale goal. I don't think it's ever going to be possible, but like to really push for that at some point.
Careful what you
But
wish.
Yeah.
yeah,
well,
I know. Like 200 plus the other week was a little brutal. I won't lie.
You're already at the
But yeah, and like 2024, like honestly, like I just want to meet more people in the hobby. I think that's what it comes down to. Like I haven't met Logan in real life. Probably gonna hate him in real life, but really
fair.
excited to eventually meet him.
most
Hopefully in
people-
2024.
Most people do anyway.
Yeah.
I think for 2024 is just for me is, I mean, this is probably just is to be as efficient as possible. I always that's always a goal of mine, is to work on my efficiency. And because that means I can sell more cards, I can make more money, I can make more money for my consigners, and I can also have more free time outside of cards and more free time just to talk with people about sports and different things on Twitter. And that's what I enjoy. I enjoy doing that a lot. So like efficiency is always like trying to get like, how can I ship faster? How can I comp faster? How can I, organize faster?
I mean, that's like the name of the game for all of us, for sure. Getting faster and while also staying
Still having quality as well.
All right, you guys rock. Thanks for doing this.
And thank you.
We'll do this again. We can change it up next time. But yeah, I appreciate you guys hopping on for the first one.